gamers? Got my coffee. I'm ready to do some Araxxor as soon as I can find my inventory setup. Got a whole bunch of inventory setups, but there we go. We found it. No shenanigans today. No need to prep for anything. I think we have everything we need. We got ourselves a brand new Araxxor task. We don't have a cape equipped. Probably equip that. Thank you, thank you. Got a fresh new Araxxor task today, so surely we got a drop. It's a pretty big task. Also logging into my other account for some more thieving today. Should be hitting 80 thieving. Let me see where my recordings are. Oh, they broadcast now. How do they have a... But how does the cloth have a value if it's untradeable? What was my last recorded clip? For the final step when you're converting the anti-venom pluses into their... is complete the last step. Okay. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get to it. They set values for things for the CC broadcasting. I think Pet Transmog's value at 500k, so they broadcast even though they high out for way less. Interesting, yeah. It's just like, you know, for like, I don't know, the first 2-3 weeks, nothing really got broadcasted into clan broadcasts and stuff. Apart from like the collection log, like if you get it for the first time. Oh, my sounds are off. Here we go. We've geared up heading into the start of a fresh new Araxxor task. 244. Our starting KC, if I'm not mistaken, is 1,117. Search what? I'm gonna be real surprised if we don't get a Noxious Halberd piece on this task. Oh, misclick. Oh, I didn't range pot. Classic. Well, this is not the ideal start. Yeah, you know what? We'll just ignore that. A dragon mace. Blood shards are 8.1 mil now. Wow, that is like half the price of what it was at one point in time. Ooh, big hits. Had to make sure we had death charge going there. Ouch. Some teleports. So we're over 24 mil Slayer EXP now. Actually, we passed out a little while ago. We're already 200k EXP over. Araxxor's just insane EXP. There's a chance we're going to have to charge our scythe or recharge our scythe in the middle of this grind, actually. Been going through a lot of scythe charges. We should have the runes, and we most definitely have the vials. Got our thrall going again. Oops, taking damage because I'm trying to pickpocket on the other account. Back-to-back Dragon Mace drops. Interesting, interesting. Probably have a decent stack of those now. In fact, our loot tracker from the last 850 kills, it's missing like 300 KC somehow. I don't know. But 850 KC, 90 Dragon Maces. A 1. What's crazy is I think we're like closing in on being on rate for 2 Noxious Halberds completed. Yeah, we have 1 piece. Oh, man. Because we're approaching 1200 KC now. One more hit. Thank you. Taking a lot of damage on this first trip. Usually how it goes, though. Usually how it goes. Just logging on. Messed up the timing there. Took a range hit. Or is it a mage hit? I think it's a mage hit, right? Yeah, I think that's a mage hit. Looks like one anyways. We're out of food, so this is probably the last KC of the trip. Unless we get a supply drop here. We do not. Instead, we got more U-logs. Alright, that was a 5KC trip. Nothing too crazy, but not abysmal either. There's been a few times where I showed up and I got like a whole 2-3 KC, but like not sure like what I was doing, but just taking a ton of damage. Alright, just want to double check that all my stream settings are correct and everything. Think we're A-okay. And here we are again. Let's open up with our claws. Oh, he's at Fasani's, I see. 443, wow. Crazy. I think the new items at Fasani's are pretty good. Oh yeah, apparently the Eye of Ayak is very viable there. Very good. In fact, arguably best in slot. Oops. Oh boy, more dragon maces. Just can't get enough of those, I guess. Just can't get enough of those. Alright, we'll take Araxxor for a walk here. Get our thrall going again. Make sure death charge is always up. Start off in rage phase with a claw spec. Another KC. This is the one, 1124. This is the one. Nope, 4 toad black seeds. What are the odds right now that I only have one piece? What's the math behind that? That is crazy. Certainly feels very, very crazy. Back to the safe spot. Oh, that's not where I want it to be, but I don't think it really makes a difference. Okay, I guess it does a little bit because it just did that. Very nice, very nice. Some wild pies, huh? Some wild pies. We'll open up with the claw spec for this one. And I guess another ranging dose to ensure that we one-shot the spiders, the Araxxites. I hope once we get one piece, like we're the second piece rather, the third one just comes quickly. You know, I just hope like it starts evening out. That was my last divine dose there. I must have not like replenished it on the bank trip. Resummon our thrall. You know, in event that we do finish the Noxious Halberd in this task, I suppose after that we will full send the Void Waker, I suppose. That or easy clues. We might actually finally start just locking ourselves to some easy clues. Although, that might not really be a stream thing. At least not collecting the clues anyways. Like, I'm just gonna be doing it like a super AFK method. So on the other account, I've been Varlamore pickpocketing, and I've discovered that it's like a decent source of easy clues. And me being lazy, that's probably going to be the route I'm going to take to get easy clues. Even if it's not necessarily the quickest, it's not the worst either. I do get a decent amount of them. Araxxor supposedly drops a lot of elite clues, but honestly, I just don't care for them right now. It's a bit of a shame, but there's like a few things that I would like from Master Clues and whatnot. That being some of the ornament kits for, like, for example, the Anguish ornament kit. The you know what? I guess the Tormented Bracelet ones are kind of irrelevant now with the Confliction Gauntlets, huh? But that was one of the ones I wanted. The Occult as well. Again, I'm not sure if all of them are from the Master tier, but most of them definitely are. But I don't know. It's just like clue doing. It's just not a thing I enjoy in this game, to be honest. The scroll boxes help a little bit, but even then, I'm just kind of like, eh. I guess it's because like the only way of obtaining clues is just like incredible. I don't know. I don't know if this is like a reasonable like excuse, I suppose. But it's just like you never get clues when you like are trying to like actively. But you can't actively do clues, I suppose. I mean, in a way you can, but the clues are always like a secondary thing and not a primary thing. And like if you do go after them primarily, you have to do stupid things like pickpocket ham members. Like what? Or like easy clues as an example. No, we're out of divines here, and I don't know why I clicked on my claws when we don't have spec. Some more teleports, fantastic. All right, one moment here. I'm gonna be right back real quick. Alright, might have been gone for a little bit longer than I wanted. Anyways, we are back though. Let's bank and get in for another trip. Let's get our supplies. And back we go. Back we go. Alrighty. You know, I'm trying to just stick with the grind here. I mean, you know, being at this stage of the account, there's not too many things you can pick and choose from as to what you want to do at the moment. Because if we're not doing the Araxxor, then we're just doing wildy content. But we've been doing a lot of wildy content recently. And then if it's not that, you know, the most exciting thing we can do is like Corp or something. I do want to do Fasani's Nightmare, but again, Voidwaker and Ham Joint. Really want those. Oh, I do need a range pot again to make sure I can one-shot these bad boys. You know, while we're working on this, I guess I will mention that today we pushed out a VOD. Yeah, it's definitely more of a VOD because it's just an Inferno run through we did on this account a little while ago. And we actually had a pretty good time. It was our GM, I don't quite remember if it was like the first official GM time for the Inferno that we got, or if it was like another run we did afterwards. Because there was a little era where we potted a few Inferno attempts. And I discovered that, like, you know, like, I could actually go decently fast to make the GM time, and I was able to do that. I will have to return to the Inferno. In fact, we are sitting on a Zuck task right now. We're gonna have to return sometime in the future. There are more combat achievements for us to do. But for a task like the melee-only Inferno, I think a Noxious Halberd as well as a Void Waker are actually going to help out a lot. Ultimately, the reason why we're going after the Noxious Halberd and the Void Waker is in preparation for the road to Grandmaster. Cross back. Step back. Pretty slow one right here. That was a Thrall KO. 6 antidotes. Well, they're 3 doses, so it's not 6 full antidotes. Honestly, doing the Araxxor is pretty nice and casual. Doesn't require too much focus to do this boss, as is all Slayer bosses, I find. And when I say Slayer bosses, like the ones that are specifically locked behind Slayer, right? Like Cerberus. Although I personally have a strong dislike of Cerberus. It might be a little bit better now with some of the changes they made, but yeah, strong dislike of Cerberus personally. Oh boy, a U-seed. Oh, you know what? You know, now that I'm back from being AFK, I gotta log into my other account again and get back to some Varlamore thieving. I didn't even log back in yet. We're on our way to 80. What do you call it? 80 thieving. I could throw up a tiny screen. In fact, I'll show it off right here. If that's something you guys want to see, I don't know though. But it's not. Perhaps it's not the most exciting thing. And it's also just a tiny screen. Search bot. Oh my goodness, that was a huge side swing right there. What was that, like 623 strength XP drop? I'm surprised that was not like a max. Oh, we're standing on the wrong tile. I really like that part, where we just walk Araxxor from one side to the other. And that's just so we can get the red spider to explode this green one. Oh, in the middle of a KC here, but we just reached 150 million strength DXP. I feel like it was not that long ago where I checked in at 148 million. But yeah, lots and lots of strength DXP. We're just swinging our scythe non-stop here. But sadly, no noxious halberd piece. Instead, we get 2 more dragon maces, which we simply just can't get enough of, apparently. Ooh, the Battlefield 6 second open beta weekend is apparently... I mean, today's a Thursday, but I guess they already opened it up again. Oh, don't have Protect Melee on. Oop. Well, that's not ideal. That is not ideal. Alright, we do want to use our claw specs here, or at least the one, because we will death charge off this green one right here, boom, and then we'll have claw spec available again, in which we'll just use right away, because why not? This is probably going to be the last KC of the trip. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh man. Nobody panic, nobody panic. Nobody panic. Let's just take out what we need. Put our coveted dragon maces away. Did I search bot? I can't search bot yet. Wait, or can I? Oh, that was weird. Why is the scythe swing just so satisfying? I don't know. I think it's the sound effect too, honestly. The twisted bow is still very much my favorite mega rare. It was getting a twisted bow was pretty much the reason why I wanted to play an Iron Man in the first place. It was just like one of those big goals. But man, is the scythe satisfying to use. And Shadow wasn't even a thought. Like, that didn't exist yet when I made my Iron Man. We got the mega rare boots now, though, the Avernic treads. Honestly, I wouldn't have even been upset if they were actually mega rare tier. Because these boots are insane. Just absolutely insane. I actually find it a little ridiculous, honestly, that they're, like, not as rare. I suppose it might be locked behind some pretty difficult content, but then again, you can also get them as early as wave 4, so... It's definitely not the same length of a grind. Let's get the thrall going. I was just about to say the scythe is popping off as we hit a 9. I think that was a 9. Inventory full again. We have done, I think, 21 KC today so far. I can do math. Oops. No, it's gonna proc right there, isn't it? Ooh! Oh my goodness, a 49. Ouch. Okay, for how rarely that projectile hit is actually hitting me, that's gotta be a range attack because I'm in melee armor. If it was mage, I'd get absolutely destroyed, like, pretty often from that. Someone at the thieving spot was like, "Is this the move to only do the AFK portion?" I mean, it's really just a effort type thing. It's like you can continue the pickpocket even when it's not the phase if you want, but surge pot in 20 seconds. $250 death runes. Already summon our thrall. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I feel like I'm just expecting for a halberd piece to drop at any one of these now. We'll go ahead and claw spec. I want to get these teleports out the way. I don't want to accidentally click on them. Very nice. Probably another KC or two before we bank. More earth orbs. Okay, okay. Oh, get our thrall going. Oh my god, there it goes again. That was a huge scythe swing, but it still was not a max. Still was not a max. Let's squeeze in one more KC. Should have the prayer. Should have the prayer. Might have to flick a little bit, actually. Yeah, we should be fine from here. Alrighty. Oh, a supply drop. That is tempting. That is tempting. Yeah, one more. Why not? I didn't death charge though, thinking that was going to be my last one. Surge pot will come up in the middle of this one though. One more swing. Alright. Was able to get another KC thanks to a supply drop. But we will bank here though. 2 rune play legs. 2 rune plate legs. I mean, at some point the RNG has to even out, right? At some point. All right, back we go, back we go. We have done 38? No, 28. 28 KC today so far. Feels like I've done more than that, but I guess not. I guess I did have to AFK a little bit. Well, that hurt. Ouch. That was unfortunate right there, honestly. I didn't feel like dealing with that mirror back, honestly. Oh man, we're down to 2,500 charges on our site. Gonna have to recharge this bad boy for sure. Spooky, spooky. Couldn't really run the other way. Felt like I was backing myself into a corner there. A 111. Pitiful hits right now. Oh, we are 100% spec, so we might as well use that. I will stand over here in preparation for the red egg. There's the spider. There we go. We're actually safe spotted from 2 of the rangers right now. A 139, geez, yeah, you know, I figured that was a slow KC when we had to back up so much into the side there. We can search bot. Another KC. Next one's gonna be 1150. Run over to the other side here. KC 1150 now. A 104, pretty speedy. 45 Earth Orbs. We still got another whopping 211 to go on this task. So surely I can only hope that we get ourselves a Noxious Halberd piece, and maybe once we get the second piece finally, the third one will come shortly afterwards. We'll just have to see though. I done goofed. Oh my. Oh man. That did not go the way I wanted it to. Not in the slightest. That's my... Okay. Panic. Just gonna... Everything's fine? Alright, there we go. Whew. Well, give me that Dragon Javelin. I have to make those. Yeah, how am I late again? I'm just not paying attention, I suppose. Just not paying attention. To be fair, I am reading like the chat over at the Varlamore thing on the other account right now. Like usually no one really says anything here because everyone's just trying to be as AFK as possible, but a couple of people over here yapping. So I was just curious to see what they were talking about. I don't really care about the reflect damage I'm taking here because I'm going to bank anyways. There we go. Oh yeah, that supply drop, but I mean... Bank anyways. Some Zami wines. Not a whole lot, but you do get some here, I suppose. closing in on 80 thieving on the other account, so that's nice. A plank sack. Dude, a 1? A 1. Oh, there we go. There goes another elite clue scroll that I would have gotten. What kind of pathing? What the? Weird. Oh, I couldn't stand there. Nice. Good execution there. Man, what are the odds right now? Seriously, 1155 KC. And at this point, our last Noxious Halberd piece, and when I say last, our first Noxious Halberd piece was over 1000 KC ago. What are the odds of that? DPS is a little lacking, huh? Oh, it finally happened. Noxious Point. There we go. That's our second piece. You know, I can't even make it up. I was just about to wiki Araxxor again, double check the drop rates, and then plug my KC into the dry calculator. But that was KC 1156. In fact, I really want to take a picture of my collection log before I move on here. So I think I'm actually going to TP out just for the purposes of taking a look at the collection log. Can't do that right now. What do you mean? All right, we are now 2 out of 3 on the Noxious Halberd at 1156 KC. I like to screenshot my collection logs whenever I'm working towards, I mean, not necessarily green logging, but just like making progress, like getting screenshot checkpoints of sorts. So that was the Noxious Point. So all that remains is the Noxious Pommel. That was over a 1000 KC gap between the first piece being the blade and the second piece being the point. So hopefully that third and final piece comes sooner than later, because even with pulling that second piece, we are well overdue for the third one. But yeah, just to reiterate, the chance to see any Noxious Halberd piece is a 1 in 200. So the fact that we now have two pieces in 1156 KC, we are still incredibly dry. Incredibly, incredibly dry. Alright, we're gonna chuck it in here for now. There's the other piece. We'll put it right next to it. Alright, let's resupply. Bit of a short trip there since we TP'd out just for that recording purpose there, but I mean, you know, it's fine, it's fine. Can't believe it actually happened. Alright, I've put away the point or the... I already forgot which piece I pulled, but we have the blade and the point, I want to say. I put that away. We're now back for the back-to-back attempt, I suppose. Let's see what we're gonna get. That's 0. Here we go, 1157. Imagine the back to... Oh, that's... Okay, inventory full. Let me eat a crumb one. Back to back, maybe. Nope, we get 15 bark. That's probably the worst drop you could pull here. What does the bark even do? I still don't know. I never looked it up. Have to get rid of that. $21 raw sharks. You know, things are looking up. We're about to reach 80 thieving on the other account as well. Oh my god. DPS going crazy right now. Oh, 105. Okay, on the next pickpocketing, we should be reaching 80 thieving. Dude, what is that pathing? Oh. actually on the enrage phase at Araxxor right now, but I swapped the POV over to 416 Hero as a couple more pickpockets there, and there it is, 80 thieving. Made sure to catch that. What does that get us? We can now pickpocket heroes. That's kind of irrelevant. And then switching back the POV over to wait for it. What are we getting over here on this KC? My inventory is full once again. 4 toad flax seeds. Okay, well that's just not as exciting. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, right now I'm just I don't know, just pickpocketing just to pickpocket, I suppose. You know, get some levels, get some EXP. No way, we get a noxious piece, and we're getting levels. Much more progress than yesterday. we did a whole Araxxor task yesterday and a spider's task and didn't get anything. All right, we still have 201 to go on this task, so there, you know, there's a good chance we get another piece to finish our halberd. And you know, thinking ahead, what I'm hoping to happen is that I'm gonna go for the second Noxious Halberd, you know, with 2 accounts, and along the way I get the pet without having to destroy the loot. That's what I'm hoping for. That way we can get the white Rancor as well. Because I really don't want to go on the pet hunting grind here, having to destroy the loot. Like, it will be objectively quicker. On paper, that is. But, like... We talked about this in yesterday's stream, actually. I just could not bring myself to destroy the loot, I don't think. Like, that just feels bad. I'm such a loot goblin, honestly. Like, look, I even have this 15 bark in my inventory, even though I'm pretty sure it's useless. Well, let's use our search bot. We need a death charge, but we also have plenty of spec, so I'll just start using spec right now. You know, everything gets boring after a while, but I could definitely do a fair bit of Araxxor without, I mean, not like without getting bored, but like... It's like a sweet spot of the level engagement and like... And just like being able to just chill doing it. This is part of the reason why I like doing Zoro so much. Like, it's like interesting enough, but it's not so engaging that it like wears you out quickly. And I have thousands upon thousands of Zoro KC across multiple accounts, which is why I use that as an example. I'm not bothering with Expeditious or Slaughter Bracelets here or anything like that. I think the task is big enough when you extend it. I think if I did use Slaughters, that's when I might start feeling burnt out, because like these tasks take long enough as is. That is the smallest claw speck I've ever seen here. Holy, what the heck? Alright, we're out of prayer, actually. I almost... Oh, well. Nice. Very convenient. We'll do one more, Casey. Very, very convenient. We'll open up with the claw spec. With the Divine Pot running out, though, I guess it's a little bit of a waste. Like, it probably would have been more efficient, in a sense, to just bank. Because now I sip this Divine Dose, but I'm really only doing one more KC, and I'm going to spend, like, 2 minutes just running back here. Just a little minor detail, though, but, like, it's not, like, make or break, you know? Sheesh. Alrighty. Oh, a lot of loot on that trip, honestly. I don't know how many KCs we got. That was a good trip, though. That was a good trip. So now that we just got a thieving level, it's going to take us another 200k EXP to get to 81. With the current method we're doing, that's going to take about 4 hours. Now for thieving rates, that actually sounds terrible. But the 4 hours in which we're going to be doing this is not like the same as sitting here for 4 hours spam clicking our mouse on a NPC over and over again. Like, I'm going to rack up these like next 4 hours of thieving just I mean, in all honesty, probably doing more Araxxor. What is going to be a little bit of a problem, though, is let's say we finish the Araxxor grind right now, at least for the Noxious Halberd. We're going to want to go start our, or restart our Void Waker grind. Now, I either have to bond up another account, like my normal account, to scout, or I do the Wildy without scouting, or third option, I don't do my thieving training. And I once again use the account to scout. I don't know. I don't know. I really want to get the Void Waker grind out the way, man. I'm just not a fan of the Wildy. It's not even so much that like I'm afraid of dying to PKers. It's really not that. It's just like whether they kill me or not and they show up, it's just like such a waste of time. Alrighty. Renard seeds, that's actually good. I do like to see those now. I mean, I guess I always did, but now more than ever with the changes they made. I guess by now it's been like maybe a month or two. Definitely a good couple of weeks since they Did that summer sweep up change where they addressed the loot tables? For example, now at Chambers, it doesn't just straight give you herbs all the time, it does give you a lot of seeds instead. Which I found interesting. I guess it makes farming and herb lore a bit more relevant if they do that. Or more specifically, farming a bit more relevant. But I mean, every Iron Man already, like, gets like 99 farming as one of their first 99s anyways. I don't know how that impacts like the regular normal account game mode though, and like maybe the economy or something. Not sure. Like obviously they thought about all these things, right? I don't think they specifically made that change to like balance out the Iron Man game mode or anything like that. I say this every time like this kind of conversation comes up, but Iron Man game mode wouldn't have had to exist if they balanced like these loot tables and stuff a bit better to begin with, because you know everyone always says that they don't want to play normal accounts, max normal or main accounts, because you know it's just GP scape, you just do the best money maker and then you buy what you need, right? But like that wouldn't be the case if you know the drop tables were a bit more normalized and like not like bloated with supplies and stuff. Like if skilling was actually worth it to do on a normal account, some people would start skilling, you know? Obviously there's still going to be like those exceptions where people just never skill, but if skilling was genuinely worthwhile from a GP standpoint, people would do it. And also like incentivize skilling too, you know? Like right now, like there's like absolutely zero reason for like a normal account to have high fletching levels, as an example, other than simply to have 99 fletching for the max cape, right? Like total levels. But like for example, let's talk about like amethyst arrows, right? Imagine if amethyst arrows were actually comparable to dragon arrows and dragon arrows weren't like a clear-cut upgrade over amethyst arrows. It doesn't even have to be amethyst arrows. Imagine if they made an arrow that was on the level of dragon arrows, if not even better. But the thing is, you could not buy it. They were untradeable. You had to make them yourself. See, that would make fletching relevant. And like, okay, yeah, oh, that sounds like Iron Man making your own things. But yeah, like what's the problem of making like skilling relevant in the game? I don't know. Like it's part of the game, is it not? Like the game has definitely like leaned towards just being very, very PVM focused. And I mean, I'm someone that primarily plays for the PVM aspect too, but I mean, I'll do a bit of skilling. If I didn't do a bit of skilling, I wouldn't be playing Iron Man, you know? Just a little bit of a tangent there. Just my 2 cents. You know, we're gonna do a bit of rambling on when we're doing 10 billion Araxxor KC, you know? I just think more untradables is actually good for the game. Like, I guess surge potions that I'm using right now are a good example. Because you're gonna have yeah, sure, you can buy the supplies, you can buy the demonic tallow and whatever, but you still need the herblore levels to make the surge pods because you can't buy surge potions. The surge potions themselves are untradeable. I don't even know what I clicked on there. That was... Didn't even know what I clicked on. I just clicked. Character went all over the place. Alright, Divine up again. Gonna get rid of that. Thank you very much. Step back. Alright, another KC. Racking them up, 1169. Ruined plate legs. I wonder how many scythe swings we're doing on average. I guess you could, like, actually math it out without actively counting. Sheesh. What am I gonna do with all these earth orbs, huh? I suppose crafting EXP for 416 here. Although I think you need a pretty high crafting level to begin with to even start making those, don't you? You know, the thing about maxing your count is, once you know you're 99 and you can quite literally do everything, you don't really pay attention to, like, level thresholds. For example, when I made the Confliction Gauntlets, I think it was the Confliction Gauntlets, yeah, that sounds right. I had no idea there was actually a 90 HP level requirement. Of course, it wasn't relevant to us, but, like, I was like, huh, okay, that's... Or was it like it might have been the Amulet of Rancor too. Like, apparently, in order to use an Amulet of Rancor, you have to have at least 90 hit points. Also, a little while ago, I tried to equip a buckler on my 50 defensive count, and I think you need like 75 defense or something. I didn't know that either. Just lots of things like that, you know? Ouch. One more swing. All right. 1172. 2 rune kite shields. Let's get out of here. And I wasn't really looking, but I think I might also just call the stream here in general. I would like to squeeze out another hour, but I mean, I should have started earlier, in all honesty. But yeah, we made good progress today. We hit 80 thieving on the other account. We finally got our second noxious piece, which was the point. At 11, what was that, like 1156 or something like that, or 65, something like that. So we just got one thing to go here, and that's the noxious pommel. If along the way to our first noxious halberd, and maybe even the second one day, when we're getting one for the other account, if we could pull the pet without having to destroy loot, that would be great. But you know what, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we're just hoping for one more piece to get the noxious halberd completed. But yeah, we're going to call the stream here. Have a good one, take it easy, and I will catch you guys on the next one.